He is a composer, arranger, a choral conductor. He has received state awards including Moran of the Burning Spear MBS and Order of the Grand Warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, it's such a great honor to have a distinguished man like our own chairman. In most instances, chairman will be seated somewhere having tea, entertaining important guests. But our chairman will forever be here with us. He will present, he will train with us, he will sing with us, he will make art with us. Ladies and gentlemen, a hearty clap to our chairman as he comes to talk to us, about ethics in adjudication. Karibu Chair.
Good morning. Asante sana. I would like you to use your devices to find out the meaning of ethics. And I would like each one of you to do that. That is a typical CBC class. Using digital devices, establish the meaning of ethics. Nani amepata? Elizabeth, please read. I would like to get a mic there. Mic.
Moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. That's the first meaning. The second one is the branch of knowledge that deals with moral principles.
Thank you very much. And there are many other definitions. Thank you, Elizabeth. The point is that it refers to rules of behavior, which rules determine what is considered morally right or wrong. So Charles, when you are dealing with matters, this is right, this is wrong, we are delving in the field of ethics. Now, I would like any 9 people to come forward, Onyancha being one of them. Onyancha, Charles, Elizabeth, Daktari, any 9 people to come in front. Just there, just there. Mike there. This is Kenya Music Festival. Now, Dr. Mutuku, this is for you. Dr. Mutuku, this is for you. Just move in front. Thank you. Please take this scenario and give me a response. And I want you to listen. Your wife says that they slept without food last night. You are an adjudicator. And then an M-Pesa message from a regional festival organizer drops in with instructions: push Kisumu girls to the nationals. No one has seen the message. What do you do?
Chairman, this is such a sweet temptation.
Yes.
Very sweet. Being a human being, of course, you'll do the necessary.
Okay, pass the mic to the next person, Dr. Moringa. Yes, again, move ahead. This is for you. Now, before Dr. Mutuku assumed his seat there, that is about integrity. And integrity is about what can you do given an opportunity and you are alone. Dr. Moringa, there we are. Now, there is a choir on the stage. That is, assume you are called John. So, and please, Madam Jacqueline, please move ahead next to him. And John, now Dr. tell Jacqueline, don't you feel the choir? Tell her that.
Madam Jackie, don't you feel the choir?
What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
How come you're not feeling this choir?
How come you're not feeling this choir? Feel it.
So, go ahead and urge her to allocate number 1 to that choir.
This is now the number 1 we're waiting for. Yeah, it must be this. Not any other.
Thank you. And please move step back. That is about objectivity. An attempt to make your own feelings be the basis of awarding marks. Now, let me go to Elizabeth. Please step forward. No, I'd rather give this to Onyancha. All right. Mr. G.A., mnamjua vizuri sana, assigns you hall 3 to adjudicate piano pieces. You are not a pianist at all. Then he goes on to say, no payment to adjudicators who are free on that day. Would you take that assignment?
I hope you are not capturing the truth that is about to come. But one is that is not my area of competence. I would honestly decline and wish that someone else has that opportunity. I wouldn't. I will not even know whether it is key X or key W that people.
This one goes to Charles. Sir Charles. Sir Charles, you are an adjudicator. Because of the need to answer to the call of nature, you visit the washroom. In the washroom, you meet a choir master, coincidentally, and the results are not yet out officially, and then you inform him that nakuambia tu, this is just for you. You are number 7. What would be right or wrong about that?
First,
opening the...
And if it is okay with you, just say it is fine.
No, it's not okay, because it might bring a hiccup within the festival ground before the results are given out. So, according to me, it is not within the bracket of integrity.
Thank you. Now to Elizabeth. Would you add more marks to acquire because it is from the remotest part of Samburu?
I would not.
Why?
This choir is, marks are not geographical. Yeah, we don't award marks according to your geographical area. We award according to performance. And there's no affirmative action on marks.
Asante. Who has not spoken there? Please, madam, move forward. You have been sent to Homa Bay County to adjudicate. Spell out any circumstance under which you will disobey the county festival organizers.
Wow. Now, to disobey, now it depends on what ground.
That's what we wanted to spell. Under what circumstance would you disobey?
Now, when you have arrived, for example, reported the venue, then maybe you miss those people or the organizers. You miss them in place, or they tell you, come and report at the venue at such a time before the adjudication or the program starts, without coming to see you in person when you have arrived.
Do you agree? Pass this to the audience.
Prof, I think if, for example, I am adjudicating and the organizers tell me that I think there is a group that should go at the national level, that is, to the state function.
Yes.
There is a call to take this one to the state function. I may not obey that.
You may.
I may not obey that.
You may not.
Yes. I may not obey. I'll disobey.
Okay, you'll disobey. Asante.
I think, sir, the way the question came, maybe
Yes.
understanding is also different. Right?
Yes.
When you talk of disobeying, you need to give me the right part
Chris,
that will cause
your
me. Because
people.
if I have to disobey these organizers, just as he has said, there are those who will call you maybe in a corner and say this and this and this is what you have prepared. Like they want to ensure that this team is always the national team every year.
Yes.
And yet they want you again to cause that team to go to national. Yes. I will refuse. That one I will just refuse.
Okay.
Yeah, because the winning team, let the winning team win. Does not mean money or what.
Asante sana. Yes, please.
There is a scenario whereby organizers can tell you, last year we had a problem with the results. So before you announce, can you give us the results? We look at them, then we let you announce. That is a scenario that can happen. Never accept. Because they'll tell you, last year we had an issue with this particular class. So can we look at the results first before you release them? That one, Prof, I will not accept.
And my people, there are many circumstances, situations that would cause you to fail to obey. So while these wonderful people are here, all they have discussed could be summarized as integrity objectivity, professional competence, confidentiality, being honest, professional behavior, and of course, there's one more that I skipped for the lady, the far end. You are adjudicating in Nyeri County. And the festival organizers are telling you to please pace up because it's getting cold. And she's heard saying as an adjudicator, it is part of learning. Let them wait in the cold. What is your opinion? Is that correct? Is that right?
There are other ways to beat the cold. Maybe I would ask them to use other ways to beat the cold for the learners.
You have not given me your opinion about keeping the children in the cold.
Yes.
Anyone?
Maybe I would let them in
Yes.
as we continue with the festivals,
Yes.
instead of them being outside,
Yes.
but we continue the festivals.
Do you believe it is part of learning, keeping children in the cold?
No,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Please let us appreciate these presenters here. So, we are going back to another level, and you're wondering what I'm doing. Now we are going to have a choir with some adjudicators. I want you to be very observant. Please hurry up, the choir. Choir. Chris is the conductor. I want you to line up somewhere there. Yes, the adjudicators, where are you? Adjudicators? Mko wapi? Aya, fanya haraka haraka. You are supposed to face the adjudicator. The adjudicator is here. They are here. Yes. All right, please. Adjudicators, please. Harakisha. There we are, Bwana Chris. This is Kapnyeverai School. I would like you to pay more attention here. Just a minute. Chris, have you done? Okay. Bwana Daktari Wafula, you are hapa. Kuna vile? Kuna vile? I see. Hi. Please observe the adjudicators. You are not observing the adjudicators. I want you to observe the adjudicators. This is where the issue is, okay? Go on, continue. Please observe the adjudicators, and I want you to note 10 unethical acts. Audience, before you begin, and I'm going to get anyone 10 unethical acts around here. There we are. and so conclude, and the song ends there. And the song ends there. I choir remain there. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, the choir is there. Higher. Now, I would like the audience to pick out any 15 unethical acts. And we are giving you the option of that side or that side. Mike. Yes. Just be brief.
No phone etiquette. One of
Just
them.
mention one. Just mention one. Yeah. In other
10.
words, yeah. You have 10. Thank you. But yeah. No what? No phone what? Did you observe that? Asante. Let's go that side. Yes?
Use of phones.
Yes. So that is another unethical act, yes? Yes, he was not paying attention. The adjudicator was not paying attention. Okay, yes, here.
Talking throughout what the presentation is going on.
Talking throughout, eh? But maybe they are discussing. Focus. Maybe they are. Yes.
Focus.
Higher. Yes, just. And unaleta pia huku mic ingine huku. Yes.
Late arrival. When
Late.
the performance is already started.
Exactly. You are very observant.
Yes.
Late. Somebody arrived late. And we are wondering whether she's going to give adjudication comments.
One of the adjudicators was totally indifferent. She was showing a lot of not concern towards what was going on.
Yes. Yani ashughuliki. Yes, doesn't matter.
And
yes.
she was actually sleeping during the education session.
She was actually sleeping. All right. Very good.
The one who arrived late was scantily dressed. With like a short
Just
dress.
ongea kwa sauti.
She was scantily dressed.
Scantily dressed.
Yeah.
It's just
The one who
scantily
arrived
dressed.
later.
What is the specific?
Almost throughout the presentation,
Yes.
no attention was given to the performers. They were busy doing their own.
Yes, they were not even looking at that direction.
Exactly.
All right. Higher. Peleka hata huko the other side also, please.
The adjudicators were even sharing the water.
They were sharing water. There we are. There we are. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The gentleman was seriously chewing.
The gentleman was chewing, eh? I see. Yet we are at number 9. We are at number 9.
No comment was written throughout the presentation.
No comment.
All right, I'm here. I think one of the adjudicators seemed to have been daydreaming and thinking about what she was eating last night. Or
now you are out of order. You are out of order.
Yes. One of the adjudicator.
Yes.
We suspect that bottle doesn't have water. The adjudicator on the left,
yes,
she took that water and started sleeping.
Okay, that one you have already said, so let's not repeat.
The conductor had a badge.
The conductor had a badge.
A badge.
Now, hold on to what you have. Please take the mic up there. Kimbiza. 2 mics. Just hold on to what you have. Kimbiza mic huku. Sema yako.
The lady came in and gave something like, I don't know if it's bribery or what, before she sat down.
Okay. Now, please pay attention again. Kenya Music Festival, pay attention again. It is time for results. I want you to again bring out 7 problems. There we are. There you are. Please continue. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
So the arranger is Sylvester. The choir was not very good. But we know Sylvester. Tunajua kazi ya Sylvester. Tutetee mtu wetu. Lazima waende, si ndio? Yes, of course.
It has to be.
Lakini mshauri adjudicate na nani?
Wacha nipeane hizi results. Tumalize hii maneno. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, join me as we applaud this wonderful performance on stage. Having attentively engaged with this performance, as it unfolded, we must acknowledge the ensemble really were very intentional in the intonality and tonal exploration. The opening demonstrated a commendable sensitivity to phrasing. Those certain moments suggested a somewhat fluid relationship with temporal alignment.
Please be observant.
And now, Mr. Adjudicator, my team did the best thing as recommended from the last workshop. What really happened? We think we gave the best. How did it go about? How come I'm number 12? How?
It's my co-adjudicator who gave those results.
Yes. Up to that point, 6 problems. Up to that point, 6 problems. When am I? Ata kule, you are unfair to people that are in.
Thank you. I wish to observe that the adjudicators were 3 on the bench, but the consultation was mainly between the 2 adjudicators. So the 3rd adjudicator was sidelined or just became passive in decision making. Thank you.
Another observation, there was no sense of collective responsibility. When the trainer inquired, and one of the adjudicators disowned the results and said, it is my colleague who gave you those marks.
Thank you. Another one?
Yes, please proceed.
The adjudicator's comments used heavy English, heavy vocabularies with no direction, not even related. Thank you.
The adjudicator came out with a judgment, yet they were not paying attention throughout.
All right. Any other? Yes.
Okay.
There was evident insubordination. The adjudicator in the middle asked the other adjudicator to open for her the bottle. If you didn't notice, it's the other one who opened. So that is insubordination, even if it is water.
Actually, one of them is the adjudicator's assistant. Do you have a right to mistreat an adjudicator's assistant? Yes.
Here. The mwamuzi anaonekana kuamua kazi ya mtunzi badala ya mawasilisho jukwani.
Mine is the adjudicator answering, I don't know, the choir master. I don't think it's his work to answer. He would have referred him to the committee that is in charge.
I've also observed that adjudicator was consulting the other adjudicator na kusema tusaidie mtu wetu instead of following what he observed.
Yes, yes.
I have also noted, Prof.
Yes.
The guy, the moment he started giving the result,
yes,
he was killed.
The
he
guy
said,
of the adjudicator.
The adjudicator.
Yes.
He said, let us applaud the team on stage. So already his pomposity of the words were headed
It's a direction.
Yes.
It's a direction.
But again,
yes.
Prof, at the beginning,
yes,
the trainer waited to be signaled to start.
Yes.
It never came.
Okay. All right. The last one, let's take, because of time, let's move to the next section.
Okay. I also realized that the adjudicators allowed the team to start performance before they were ready for adjudication.
Again, as per the readings of the adjudicator, it seems that there was a use of phone, maybe they generated using the AI comments.
Professor, the adjudicators seem to have suffered from halo effect, that Sylvester's team has been performing well, so this time round they have to still continue.
Yes.
Thank
In
you.
other words, you are adjudicating who? Yeah, you're adjudicating Sylvester. Thank you very much. Please let us appreciate this team. Yes, and thank you. The choir will come back in a short while, so you can rest. Thank you. Say hi to your neighbor as we say hi to your neighbor. Well, I'm told we don't have much time. Passing the buck. In other words, arguing that it is not you, it is the other adjudicator. An adjudicator is a nuisance to the audience. Walks in and out of the hall too often, seem to enjoy the attention given by the audience. Now, I want you, with your immediate neighbor, to discuss the following very quickly. Why must you agree all the time? Must you agree? Take that with your neighbor. And if you don't agree, what do you do? Take that with your neighbor. Aya? Thank you very much. That's enough. That is enough. So I would like to ask Franklin Etienne, our chair technical, to make a brief comment on this. What happens? Must you agree? And if you don't agree, what happens?
Thank you, Chairman. That's putting me on the spot. One thing I believe is that you don't have to agree. Let reason take the day. You don't have to agree with your co-adjudicator if you are clear in your mind that that is not the right direction. And I think there are many ways to handle that.
Yes.
I have done that myself on the national bench many years back. I think it was 2006. And I said, I will not be part of releasing those results. And so we sat back again, we delayed, we went to the next class, we negotiated, and we agreed on the right results to release. And everybody was satisfied. Thank you.
Sir. I will give a summary of a few other things. The adjudicator allows the other to make decisions alone. Adjudicator demands an authorized reimbursement from the festival officials. Adjudicator drinks, smokes, and causes chaos at night in bars patronized by choir masters. Adjudicator imports sex workers to the adjudicator's hostels, causing embarrassment to colleagues, sets in motion noisy horizontal activities, disturbs the peace enjoyed by the rest. You will fail to declare interests in a class. Adjudicator is falling fast asleep. Adjudicator makes fun of the performing choir. Adjudicator shows disinterest. Uses abusive language. Wonders where you are coming from. Do we still have this kind of performances in Kenya? Adjudicator hardly writes comments. He fails a competitor at a lower level so as to create a better chance for him or her to win at the next level. Adjudicator is biased towards certain compositional styles. If you compose using those specific devices, you get number one. Franklin Etienne yesterday said that the adjudicator is ignorant about even the use of the assessment tool itself, education tool. Being an iterative critic, in other words, failure to justify your rating, you can't justify the marks. Those are your marks, period. Adjudicator does not follow the score. The score is placed somewhere. It goes ahead to allocate marks. Adjudicator does not sign festival documents, and GA is seen following him the next place. You did not sign. He says, that is not my work for today. You paid me for yesterday, I did my work. Relevant conversation with adjudicator's assistant. This is not your wife. Giving orders to that assistant. In fact, we have always taken these people to be like slaves of some sort. Illegible, poor handwriting. Again, I'm referring to it again. It's a common thing. You can hardly read. So how do you like the learner? What corrections, what improvement would you like the learner to take from you? And of course, being magniloquent, pompous, grandiloquent, orotund, target, falsapian, grandiose, supercilious, and imperious. In other words, doing exactly what I'm doing. Terminologies, hawajashika kitu. But for you, mshike msishike, I mean, that makes you feel that you are a superior person. Kama unajua sana. I'm told that it is not, Dr. Chokera, I'm told it is not about what you really know, but how you can express what you know. Condoning the prying eyes of members of the audience. Using abusive language when giving comments. Pleasing the audience. A man from Migori is one man who is from Migori. I know very many people come from Migori, but there was one who was identified yesterday as coming from Migori. I don't know that he's here. Imagine if you were to adjudicate by pleasing the audience. Si mnajua kwamba hata audience wali sana. If we allocate less marks, or if we give it to the other person, the audience will not agree with us. Adjudicating the imagined potential of a composer and not what is. Bwana, you know what Mr. Kisia is capable of composing. And and how we can mount a very serious performance. Did you listen to his song last year? This class is always won by Mr. Kisia at the national level. If you allow Mrs. Wekesa to the national competitions, she will be beaten by Kisia Ukombele. Adjudicating the physical appearance. Hey, angalia watoto wameumbwa bwana. Watoto wamevalishwa kweli kweli. Watoto wa Lugulu Girls wameunga kweli. Hawa watoto wa Kisumu Girls wamebeba kubeba. And so therefore that is the basis of adjudication. My people, I'm going to share this paper. There are 15 more. God bless you. Let me stop there. God bless you. But in a summary, Please let us remain completely
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me that this was a pure workshop. Professor Akuno told us yesterday what a workshop is. Is there any question? I doubt. I doubt if there is any question. Chairman says there is no question. Please clap for him as he goes to say. Asanteni sana.
A round of applause for the chair and the chair. Tuwapigie makofi. Makofi yenu ingawa hayafiki viwango. We were beginning to accept you the way you are. Can we have a better clap, please? Now that is Kenya Music Festival. Sababu msipo tutaanza kushuku ama mnahitaji power. Haya, sawa. Ningependa tuende kwa wasilisho lingine, na wakati huu ningependa kuwakaribisha mwenyekiti wa kikao hiki akiwa ni bwana Peter Onyanja. Now this is Peter Onyanja, the chair, not the man from Kisii, and I can say that Kisii people are good people. This is the time we get to appreciate ourselves. I want also to invite on stage the next presenters, that is Kevin and Faith. They are going to share this session. Oh, Faith is already here, sorry. Kevin, just come over so that then I hand you over to the chair. Wangali wanajuliana hali. Wanapojuliana hali, ningependa kusema kwamba tafadhali wakati wote ule valia badge yako for identification and make sure it is visible, because then it makes our being here of purposes of identification, it becomes easier. Hatujui, all of us hatuna uniform, we don't know who walks in. It's also for our own security and safety. Make sure you always wear your badge and it is visible. Najua leo kumekuwa na kibaridi, kama ukivalia fulana basi badge iwe juu. Mwenyekiti, karibu.
Thank you for this opportunity once more. I am honored to come back and this time round invite our presenter. I want to bring to you, ladies and gentlemen, Faith Mwende. Faith Mwende, I've known her for a long time. It's been more than 5 minutes. Faith Mwende is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. By the way, an advocate is different from a lawyer. A lawyer is one who has been trained, and an advocate of the High Court is practicing. She's an intellectual property lawyer, governance and regulatory compliance lawyer as well. She currently serves as the head of legal services at the Kenya Culture Center, and she's also a creative policy expert. And today she advises across on matters relating to compliance and governance. And today, ladies and gentlemen, she is going to speak to us, lead the entire process of the Code of Conduct in the context of the Kenya Music Festival. Just to make her feel buoyant about our appreciation of our very presence, please let's just open our hands. Tufungue kiasi kizuri, anaposimama tungojelee kiasi, naona anasimama, Naomba tufunge vizuri. Asante sana. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you, Nyancha. I am practically challenged. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Asante sana. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Faith, as we've been told, and I hope you can see me. Coming after the good chair has presented, I feel like what I'm about to present, we already have it. We have answered the questions, we have asked ourselves the questions, and we have looked at the scenarios. So my work is going to be very, very easy. I'll be making a presentation on a proposed code of conduct. Now, coming from the background that Prof has taken us through, we have evidently seen that sometimes in the course of our work, ethical dilemmas will arise. And being human, you might get stuck between a catch-22. You know, a situation is unethical or borders on being unethical. And therefore, if we are to exercise our personal convictions, the decision I'll arrive at as Faith is very different from the decision that any other person in this room will arrive at. And therefore, to avoid us using our discretions when it comes to the festival, then as the executive committee, it was felt that it is important for us to have a code of conduct. So what I'll be taking you through is a proposed code of conduct so that we can be able to foresee what are some of the pitfalls we might have when we are doing our work as adjudicators and as festival officials, and what is expected of us. So the first question we need to ask ourselves is, why is the code of conduct important, or why does it even need to exist? We all are aware what is expected of us, right? Yes. As adjudicators, we know what is expected of us. You know, you're not supposed to collude when you're doing your scoring, and you're not supposed to take bribes. That is common sense. It is also expected of us in our professional. However, as lawyers like to say, as long as there's nothing written, you're free to do whatever you want to do. And therefore, if we keep saying you're expected to conduct yourself professionally, if you are caught in a situation that is in between unprofessional and professional, and there's a disciplinary issue arising, you will come to the committee and ask them, on what basis are you saying that I conducted myself unethically? If there is no basis, then there's a chance. Hizo ndo tunaitanga loopholes. There's a chance you might get away with it. And therefore, why are we prescribing a code of conduct? The first one is to define the standards of behavior expected of KMF officials, and particularly for this workshop for adjudicators. Then secondly is to provide an ethical guidance. Now, ethics is morals, and morals are very subjective. My morals depend on my cultural background and my interactions with the environment. So do yours. And therefore, there are specific ethical guidelines for KMF, and that is why that is prescribed. Again, there is need for fairness and transparency in the conduct and professional adjudication. And lastly, credibility protection. KMF is almost clocking 100 years. There is a credibility that comes with the festival, and therefore, as a person who represents a face of the festival, you have a duty to protect the credibility of the festival. Basically, what the code of conduct does is to promote the confidence of stakeholders. Now, stakeholders is yourself, myself, and the public, there's the ministry, there's the participants in the festival. Therefore, if the officials conduct themselves within the code of conduct, then in that case, the credibility of the festival is protected. Who does this code of conduct apply to? It applies to all officials of the festival. Just to mention a few: adjudicators, hall managers, clerks, volunteers, festival officials, and so on and so forth. Now, this code of conduct is not just based on what a few people sat and thought is appropriate. We have linked it to the law. The first thing is the Constitution. We have Chapter 6 on leadership and integrity. If you are undertaking specific duties within the festival, then you're a leader in one capacity or another, and you're bound by the provisions of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. For the interest of time, I'll not be able to take you through that, but as a Kenyan, just go and have a look at it on what Chapter 6, and while you're at it, read Article 10 as well. Then we have the Leadership and Integrity Act. We have the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes. We have the Public Officer Ethics Act, Bribery Act, and other applicable code of conduct, such as the TSC and the Public Service Code of Conduct. So the provisions of this act is what we are anchoring the code on, and we are also saying that they are applicable to you by virtue of them being mentioned in the code of conduct. Then they also apply to you. Now, I'll skip the presentation and just dive into the salient provisions of the code. The first thing is we've made definitions of important things you may need to be aware of. And the first one is a benefit. What is a benefit? We've defined a benefit as any gift, loan, fee, appointment, favor, forbearance, promise, or any other consideration or advantage. Then we've defined what is confidential information. One of the presentations, as I was going through the program we had yesterday, was on data protection. Currently, we are in an age where data is a big asset and something that is protected by the law, and therefore we're also prescribing what is confidential information and how do you handle confidential information. Within the course of your duty, you may access, whether intentionally or unintentionally, confidential information, and therefore you need to be aware on how to handle that. So confidential information, we've highlighted some of the things to include items selected or proposed for gala presentation that have not yet been released, personal information or details of participants, adjudication materials that have not been officially released. I think we had a scenario here where you're going to the back of the tent and sharing information. Internal communication that is intended for internal use. We get messages often and we are asked, kindly do not share this. That is covered within that. Then we have financial information that is not publicly disclosed. Maybe within the course of your duty, unaweza pitia kwa ofisi ya ES and you come across a budget. You decide, let me take a picture and share it with people. So that is covered within that. Then we have organizational strategies that are not intended for public knowledge, and any other information that is that should be reasonably recognized as confidential information. We've also defined conflict of interest. Conflict of interest falls in several categories. So there's actual conflict of interest. Actual conflict of interest will relate to an interest that you're aware of. For example, an item comes before you as an adjudicator and you were involved either in directing, you were involved as a consultant at some point. As a human being, there is a bias that you will have towards an item that personally you have had an interest in. Then there's potential conflict of interest. Potential conflict of interest is where reasonably you might be biased in one way or another. And as a subjective person looking at it from the outside, I would perceive you as having a potential conflict of interest. Then the third form of conflict of interest is perceived conflict of interest. Now, as a festival being a public entity and being a public institution, credibility of the festival is protected in instances of, or should be protected from instances of actual or even perceived. So if you are in a situation where the public might perceive you to be having a conflict of interest, that is also an area that you should be wary of and that should be declared. I will take you through the form and how you can declare that. Then we have what disciplinary actions can be taken very quickly. There can be official warning letters, suspensions, censures, transfer or deployment from that station, termination or banning from future participation in the festival depending on the severity of the infringement. I'll skip the definitions of the other things and just go to when it comes to communication. We have had instances where people purport to give either public addresses on behalf of the festival. The Code of Conduct prescribes who can be the official spokesperson for the festival, and that is the chairperson or the executive committee. In the instance where you're approached by media or it is on social media and somebody asks you to comment on something on behalf of Kenya Music Festival, then you do not, you will direct them to the right channels, being the executive committee or the chairperson. For confidentiality, we are saying that all the information you've prescribed as confidential, you have a duty to keep that information confidential. In the event that there is a requirement for you to disclose confidential information, you have to get consent in writing from the executive committee or the relevant committee at the various levels of the festival, and that information can only be disclosed in writing. The reason for that is you might, in the process of disclosing confidential information, cause harm to third parties that may lead to legal implications, and therefore we are trying to avoid such situations. This covers both physical and electronic information. Then I'd like to urge you to look at 510, where you have disclosed confidential information and it leads to damages or liability, then you will take personal liability for such breaches. Then we looked at conflict of interest. So for conflict of interest, there is personal interest and interest that may benefit your family members or an institution that you're affiliated with. Now, in such instances, you're required to disclose either the actual, potential, or perceived conflict of interest. In conduct, this is what Prof was talking about. There's the issue of attendance, and for the benefit of not going through things that we've discussed, you as an official of the festival, you're expected to be punctual, consistent, and absenteeism or lateness is a problem. There's the dress standards. You're expected to use reasonability when you are dressing as an official of the festival. Now, there's the prescribed dressing, that it has to be official, it has to be reasonable, and particularly there's a discouragement on dressing that is obscene or that may be considered inappropriate. For the environment, as a festival official, you're required to ensure that the environment you're operating in is safe for both yourself and other users, and therefore what is prohibited is discrimination You cannot discriminate people on whatever basis you might have or your personal biases, whether that be gender, age, race, or whatever other personal biases you have. Therefore, discrimination is particularly prohibited. Harassment, whether that be physical or sexual, that is prohibited. Bullying is prohibited. Violence and threats of violence. So you might not slap someone, but you can tell someone, I will slap you. That is prohibited. Then there's an expectation to act with integrity, honesty, transparency, and impartiality in dealings with colleagues, partners, shareholders, and members of the festival generally. Then, I don't know how many minutes I have. Okay, I'm told to wind up. Lastly, this code of conduct, once it is in place, it will be enforceable, and once you are engaged as an official of the festival, it applies to you automatically. We have there proposed for it to be signed by the professor. Then, as I had said, I'll take you through how do you declare a conflict of interest, whether that be actual, potential, or perceived. You will give your name, your personal information, that is your name, whichever department you're working in, and contact information. Then you will tick to say what conflict that is, actual, potential, or perceived. And then you will say if it is personal or financial, it relates to an affiliated institution or immediate family members, or any other conflict you might feel you might have. This form can also be used to file a conflict where you feel a member of the festival has a conflict of interest, not yourself. And then once you have done that, it is signed, and then it is processed through the internal processes, and then the executive committee or the responsible committee will give guidance or not on what is to be done, whether that person has to recuse themselves from participation in a specific activity. So in summary, that is what the proposed code of conduct provides for, which is ideally what is required of you as an official of the festival. And with that, I believe I have covered the code of conduct. Asante sana.
Please, let's one more time, let's put our hands together for that. First of all, highly summarized, non-repetitive, nothing tautological, cogent and profound. So really, it's a very, thank you very much, Faith Mwende. She has given us really a framework, a binding framework and an appreciation of the policy standing under which we will be operating. She has given a context for the code of conduct that we believe we shall be guided to uphold throughout the times that we'll be having our intercourse or discourse about these. Those two words have the same meaning. And for that reason now, if we only have one question, that would be a good thing. She's been good enough to give us a total of 1 minute for one question, but keep it somewhere as I invite our next presenter. Now, I am additionally privileged today to invite someone whose name is Triple K, Kevin Kimani Kahuro. I have the pleasure of defining him as an arts administrator and cultural practitioner. The gentleman that we are about to bring on board has experience, vast experience in the performing arts and belongs to several platforms globally and nationally. that are purely focused on the performing arts, and here I'm referring to a myriad of all types of art, including stage performance, poetry, writing, creative writing, the visual arts, and so on. He is currently pursuing a PhD in arts management, and typically individuals who are pursuing PhD potentially have already cleared with other levels of studies, including primary school, secondary school, masters, and so on. So I will not say many things about him, including I will not say that he is currently a global connector in an organization of performing arts across the globe. I will also not want to say that he's a member of the executive committee for Kenya Music Festival. Let me also not say that he's the manager of programs and business development at the Kenya Cultural Center. And of course, but allow me to say, having not said that he's going to make a statement both as a partner, collaborator, and someone interested in continued engagement at the Kenya Music Festival as a sponsor of some categories. Karibu, and please let's welcome him warmly to make a 15-minute statement.
Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, pleasure to be back here. This time as a partner of the festival. So I'm making a presentation in my capacity as the manager of programs and business development at Kenya Cultural Center. I know most of you know us as the National Theatre, KNT, but our official name is Kenya Cultural Center. And that's why we decided to say that Kenya Cultural Center incorporating the Kenya National Theatre. Our slogan and what we like to do and say that we do is that we inspire creative expressions, and therefore we exist to ensure that we provide artists an opportunity to showcase their work, mostly in the performing arts sector. We are a semi-autonomous government agency established by the Kenya Cultural Center Act of 1951. We are actually older than the country as an institution, and we are the oldest state cultural institution, and currently we are under the Ministry of Gender, Culture, and Children's Services. We are mandated to provide for a center for use and enjoyment by the Kenyan citizens. We provide for the performance of music, drama, and dance. We provide for exhibition of works of art and craft, and we hold meetings for discussions on matters literary, historical, scientific, or educational interest or importance, and for connected purposes. And we also do any other activity that may be approved by our governing council. In short, we support the development of performing and visual arts in the country. Our vision is to be a center of excellence in the development, promotion, and commercialization of creative arts. Our mission is to cultivate talent, foster innovation, and empower artistic expression in creative arts for social economic development. In essence, we are there to ensure that people or artists are able to earn a living from their art. Our core values are good governance, uprightness, inclusiveness, diversity, and equity. I'll show you a few pictures of our spaces. We have the National Theatre and its control room and equipment. It is a state-of-art facility that currently hosts around 430 people. It is fully equipped as a professional international stage standard. We normally give that for artists at a rate at a 60% subsidy for artists, but for corporates we give them at 100%. We also have Ukumbi Mdogo. It's a small space that houses around 150 audience members. Is mainly also meant as a concert hall for small music performances. We have an art gallery. It's called Cheche Gallery, where people are able to exhibit their work. We also have a dance studio. What are the programs that we currently implement? Number one is poetry after lunch or poetry theater development. Basically here, we try to promote poetry in the country. We know right now poetry is the most famous art form in the country that, that supports a lot of young people around the country. And then we have a performing arts conference that we normally hold every 2 years, and basically we bring together all people involved within the performing arts space to discuss issues on the growth of the performing arts in Kenya, and we also benchmark with other people by inviting international presenters. And for that, the call for papers for our next conference is on, and we invite you to come and make presentation, to submit your abstracts, to make presentation during the conference, which is scheduled for May this year. That's just some photos of the conference. We also do and hold a weekly event that is called Ngoma na Sarakasi. Basically, we are able to provide a platform for artists who practice dance, acrobat, and percussion to come and showcase their work at the National Theatre on a weekly basis. And then we host the Kenya International Theatre Festival, which is a platform that provides a chance to showcase Kenyan theatre and also brings international works from across the world. And other programs that we do, we work with other like-minded institutions and organizations to showcase the development of both performing and visual arts in the country. So we do capacity building programs for artists in both performing and visual arts. We partner and support festivals and competitions. We do workshops and master classes. We also do puppetry and children theatre, and we also support culinary arts. Why are we here? And for the music festival, if you go to the guideline on from page 25, 26, and 27, you will see how we want to partner and how we are partnering with Music Festival to ensure that we promote a campaign that we run is called Twende Theatre Campaign. Basically, this campaign, we want to encourage people. All of us are in the arts, and when you produce a work of art, we want that work of art to be consumed. And how is it going to be consumed? Is that when people go to watch performances in our theatre spaces around the country. So the aim of our campaign is to promote a vibrant theatre-going culture in the country, and this is what we want you as composers, mostly in music, to be able to bring out good messages that can encourage people to go to the theatre, and that is so that we're able to promote a vibrant theatre-going culture. The meaning of Twende Theatre is as simple as it is. It is encouraging people to go to theatre spaces and watch performances. So it is as simple as, let's go to the theatre. The goal is to encourage Kenyans from all walks of life to attend live performances. What we expect out of this campaign and out of the music that will be composed is to boost audience attendance and support artists' livelihood. We want to revitalize the theatre industry and promote local production. We want to enhance appreciation for performing arts as a tool for storytelling, education, and cultural identity. The vision is to ensure that we have a thriving theatre ecosystem where full audiences sustain creative careers and celebrate Kenyan culture. And we say this, and why we are promoting this, and I'll tell you some statistics we have. In our spaces alone, in the year 2025, artists, theatre companies, and artists were able to generate 80 million Kenya shillings. More than 80 million Kenya shillings by putting up performances at our space, and we were able to attract over 72,000 people who came to our theatre alone at the National Theatre. So if we are able to replicate this countrywide, we are able to generate a lot of income and support livelihoods for us as artists and for the children we are nurturing through this festival, so that when they are coming out of the festival, they are able to go to an industry that is able to support their livelihood. What are the key messages that we are looking for within this campaign? We're looking for songs should reflect and promote core values of the campaign, which include encouraging theatre attendance. Let's inspire audiences to go to the theatre and appreciate our performances. And then the key message again is to celebrating Kenyan theatre. How can we showcase the vibrance and uniqueness of our local performing arts sector? let's bring messages that empower artists, emphasizing on how a strong theater-going culture supports the livelihood of performers and the creative professionals. Let's also ensure that we have messages that bring or communicate cultural identity and unity. That theater as a platform for telling Kenyan stories and preserving heritage. And when I speak about theater, don't just think of theater as a space. Also, this festival is presented in a theatrical manner. Anything that is on stage is theater. Most of us may think that theater is just a physical space. Even the festival itself is a theatrical experience. As long as there is something on stage that has a story, that has a script, and there is an audience to consume it, that is theater. The message again should be about entertainment and joy, highlighting the fun, the excitement, and the magic of live performances. What tune and mood are we looking for in this music that will be composed for us as a center? We're looking for music that should evoke emotions that align with the campaign's purpose, and we're just giving some suggestion. Is not a must. Let the tone and mood be uplifting and inspiring, so that we are able to motivate audiences to engage with theater. It should be celebratory and energetic. It should be warm and inviting. The proposed style and genre, because and this is our aim, this music will not just end at the festival. Like in the next week or so, we are going to be hosting winners of the previous class at the National Theatre. When we have engagements and we have activities, we're going to work with the people, especially those who excel in this class, so that we're able to record this music beyond the festival, to involve you in our activities and to involve you in the things that we're doing at the theatre. And it doesn't matter where you come from. We're hosting some people who are coming all the way from Kakamega in Nairobi in the next few days. We're looking at a style and genre that is Afrofusion, or contemporary Kenyan music. That music should have theatrical element, incorporating storytelling and dramatic expression, and it should be easily, people should easily sing along and participate in it. The lyrics, as simple, we are proposing, let it be simple. Let's use words like, let's go twende theater, let's go to the theater, sanaa ni maisha, pamoja tufurahie tamthilia, hadithi zetu, sauti zetu, and such. Basically, we are asking, the song should also have a call for action. As you end, it should encourage people to go to the theater. That should be the key message. Ask people, come, let's go watch performances, because that is the aim in which we want to ensure that people are able to attend performances, they are able to support, and they are able to share this message. As I conclude, the campaign goes beyond filling theater seats. It aims to revive the performing arts, empowering artists, and celebrating Kenyan cultural identity. Music is a tool that inspires and engages the public. Let's make theater part of everyday life through music. By creating songs that reflect these themes, KMF and all of us can shape Kenya's theater culture and strengthen creative economy. In simple terms, let's make theater a movement. Twende theater. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's just put our hands together one more time. Thank you. You have made a very good summary to us. Ndugu Kevin Kimani has given us a beautiful journey motif into the Kenya Cultural Center, and he has made a practical case for domestic material in keeping with him being an ambassador of local content. And he has encouraged us to go to the theater and having our performances. I thought that folks here would clap even more loudly after you mentioned about areas that you would want to proceed to produce further beyond the festival. So I think what you have made is a statement that is extremely important, and we may want to engage with you as we take tea together and as we take lunch and continue engaging for the rest of the days. Because I have been asked to ensure that we keep time, I know we have about many questions, but I've been told to reduce all the questions to one. So the only hand I see, yes, you will say your name and then you will proceed with the question. Kindly, someone to pass this microphone. And then kindly, as you do that, direct it to a specific individual and make it as quick as possible. Nanya.
Thank you very much. My question goes to Mr. Kevin Kimani. Thank you very much, first of all, for coming into Kenya Music Festival. I'm a poet. I love writing. I've seen the space that you've given out is for those who can sing. I'm very bad in singing. Kindly, I'm requesting you, if it's possible, next year or maybe this year, include poets and the Shairi people so that you can write about 20 theater. We are good writers and we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As I said earlier, we wanted to reduce all the questions into one, and I think that one potent question is representative enough. Kindly, Kevin, if you can respond to that, and that will be all, then we figure out how we are proceeding for tea.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. We are considering that, and we are working on it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Maybe there was just one to the code of conduct, and I'll read it loudly. Does the code of conduct apply to those who take pictures of adjudication score sheets and circulate them on social media platforms, sometimes edited, thus defaming this honorable assignment? I will answer on her behalf. Yes, it applies to that as well. It is one of the bad manners. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this point, tuwapigie makofi tena kwa kazi nzuri. Haya yamekuwa ni mawasilisho mawili ambayo natumai kwamba tumeweza kujifunza. I will just encourage, even as I invite the, Chair tells me that because of the interval ahead of us, he'll be able to make an announcement at a later time. Ningependa kuwasihi kwamba tuko nyuma, tulianza kuchelewa with almost 30 minutes. And that is why we are dragging as I'm talking. It's actually 30 minutes. We are supposed to be checking back for after tea. If we could minimize maybe conversations after tea, we can have a word over tea. But if you want to check up with your alumnus, mwenye mlikuwa na university, college, mmekutana hapa, we can always do that when we get to our session so that we take the minimum time and come back for the next session. Make sure you have your meal card, make sure you have your badge. Wale ambao tangazo, wale ambao walikuwa hapa jana na hawakujisajili. You were here yesterday, but for some reason you did not register. Ensure that you see Madam Kanini out there. There's going to be a special karatasi ya kujisajili, because then it means you will miss your certificate. Take this seriously. If you are here yesterday and for any reason you did not manage to register, make sure you register on a separate. Now your registration ambayo na register leo sio signing ya daily. So you'll sign for today still, but then I want a special registration. Mtamuona Madam Kanini. If you can do that within tea interval, the better. Lastly, we are bringing in the materials. If you are going to have your cash ready on M-Pesa, I think it becomes easier for everybody. Don't pay ahead of the order. Kuna mtu analipa alafu anakuja anasema baadaye nilikuwa nishalipia jana. Let's pay for them as we get them. We are decentralizing so that we can be able to serve you better. Thank you so much. Sister, nitakuita uombe kikombe cha chai. Sister, karibu. And pray for all the meals today. Not because we are lazy, but because we are blessed.
Let's pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father, we want to thank you for your goodness in always providing us with our bodily needs. We pray for those who have made it possible for us to share it. Bless us as we partake over it through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
20 minutes, some 20 minutes so that we can be able to recover. Thank you.